Right, good morning, welcome back. Okay, today installing the cams on a Harley Sportster. Very simple and straightforward job, totally uncomplicated, but at the same time, totally critical. It has to be right. Now, it's not difficult to achieve that. There's a big diagram in the manual. You can follow that and get it right first time, not difficult. Now, the reason I took my cover off was for twofold. One was to trim the cover down, but the other more important one was to have a look inside. I'm building this motor out to a 1200, so I want to make sure the cams are okay because I'm going to have to use them. I can't afford aftermarket cams. So they're beautiful. My cams are just barely run in. I'm happy with that. But more importantly is the pinion drive here. This is the drive for the oil pump. On high performance engines like Buells and whatnot, they can wear and start chipping and breaking up, and then that can just wreck the engine. So you replace them with a bronze one. But I don't need to. This is not even worn in. It's lovely. The pinion drive on this is perfect, so I'm happy to leave that in there. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power. I know that inside the cam chest is all good. So today we're going to reassemble it. I'll leave a link at the end to a card you can click on, and that will be the disassembly video. So you see how to take it apart and you can do the whole job. But today we're going to put the cams in, do the timing, get it all correct, put the cover on, torque it up, drop the followers in and torque up the pins. Let's do it. Right, now my cam cover, if you saw in a previous video, has been cut down, which meant grinder, sander, file, paper. So this is bound to be covered in grit and sanding swarf, and that won't do. Even washing it out with brake cleaner isn't enough. It's going to have to go in the bath and be thoroughly washed to make sure every little tiny bit of swarf is gone, because you don't want swarf in your cam journals, obviously. All right, next thing, clean the gasket face of the engine and of the casing itself so they're absolutely pristine, and just mop out any of the old oil residue that's left so it's nice and clean, ready to install. Right, okay, ready to put the cams back in. Now for me, I'm putting the factory cams back in and they're numbered on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, very easy to reference. If they're not, then check with the specification of the manufacturer of the cams you're buying and they'll tell you which ones are which. They'll all come be labelled in the pack. And they're marked on the front and they only work in one position anyway. Now this is number 1 cam. It goes in the rearmost cam journal because they're referenced from the rear to the front, 1, 2, 3, 4. And before I put this in, now if you're going to put in cams and install them and time them up, put the cover on and then fire the engine up later today, then you can put 2050 engine oil on them and that's fine. No problem. It says that in the manual. That's absolutely cool because it will stay there. But I'm going to leave my engine dry for some fair amount of time because I've got to build the top end. And in that case, that oil could drain off and they can go dry. And when you first fire up the engine, before the oil pump starts to lubricate everything, you get a few dry turns and that can cause damage. So I put assembly lube on them instead, which is sticky and gluey and it stays put. If you put cams in, you always put assembly lube on them because then they'll stay sticky and they'll stay lubricated. And those first few cam turns, they won't get scored and damaged. So let's get that on there and put number 1 in first. All right, number 2 next. Now you'll see that there are 2 drive gears on number 2. One drives the cam itself from the crank and the other one drives the other 2 cams and it's smaller. So if you put number 2 in next, you can't get number 3 in because it's the big drive gears in the way. So if you put 3 in next, then how do you orientate them so when you slot number 2 in, it all lines up? It's easy enough, it just takes a little bit of a wiggle. You've got 3 marks on number 2. There's one at the bottom which lines up with the crank, one at the front that lines up with number 1, and obviously one at the back lines up with number 3. And number 4 at the end, that's just a lone gear on its own, and that will go in separately. But number 2 first, we're just going to lube them both up, put number 2 in, hold it roughly orientated, put number 3 against it so it's roughly right, slip number 2 out again, then put number 3 in, and then 2 will go in over the top of them, holding them both in, and hopefully all lined up and orientated correctly. Right, now there we are. We've got the crank lined up with the bottom dot, and we've got the notch in number 1 cam lined up with the dot there. So that's correct. Now the third one, as we said, ready to go. Whichever way you go at it, you're never going to get it in because number 2 is in the way. So there's the notch and there's the dot. So hold it roughly orientated, because once that's in on top, you won't be able to spin that one. And just slide that out gently. Hold it orientated, roughly where it is. Put number 3 in, holding it orientated, and number 2 back in. And there it is. That's it. All right, just to double check everything, we've got a slot on the end of the drive gear from the crank. That lines up with the dot on number 2 cam. So then we've got the dot on number 2 cam here, lines up with the slot in number 1. The dot this side lines up with the slot in number 3. And the 2 dots in 3 and 4 line up with each other as well. So that cam timing is correct. All right, brand new gasket. When you get your new gasket, and obviously always fit a new gasket, make sure you check against the old one that you've got the right gasket. There are different ones, like the XR1200, it's a different shaped cam chest, and effectively the oil way holes will be in different places, which means potentially that your oil way hole could be blocked by a piece of unnecessary gasket, oil starvation, you know the rest. So make sure always you've got the right gasket. And I have. All right, make sure your little locating dowel is still in place. I've never had one come off, but just make sure it's still there. You never know. Pop that on there. And just pop the gasket on dry like it says in the manual. Should stay there. There it is. Right. Now with this, obviously, I've washed this completely and bone dried it. So all these journals are completely dry. So for my peace of mind, I'm just going to put assembly lube in every one of those journals. Nice and sticky, and it will stay there until the oil comes along and takes over. And it doesn't hurt also to do all this end of the cams. Now, as it says in the service manual, you can do all of this lubricating with 2050 engine oil, nice fresh engine oil out of what you're going to use if you're going to start the engine later today. But I'm not. This is going to sit empty of oil and dry for a fair while I rebuild the top end. So this assembly lube is a great way to make sure when the final time comes to fire it up that they won't have dried out and you'll get a dry start, which causes instant wear. All right, okay, the screw threads I've cleaned up on the wire mop for now, so they're spotless. I'll put a little bit of thread lock on those and we're going to put them in and torque them in sequence. I will be replacing these. There's no supply at the moment. I can't get them right now. They're specific OEM fasteners. They're a specific length, imperial, with captive washers on, so it's only they will do. I'll get a set and I'll replace them in the future one for one. Now these will get torqued in today. There's a range on all Harley torque settings, not a specific set. It's between 80 and 115 inch-pounds in old money. If you're doing it in metric, that's between 9 and 13 Newton meters, and I like to go somewhere halfway in between. So let's bung them in. Okay, covers on, all torqued into place. Very happy with that. Next thing is we've got to put the little timing drive inside it, this little yellow metal disc, and it's on the back, got a little notch on the back, and it fits into a notch on the end of the crank, which drives it. And it's a little bit of a faff to get it in, but just lift it in gently. And you'll, that's it, you feel it click. And that's held in with this tiny little 5/16 bolt, and it needs a little bit of thread lock on the end of it, and it's torqued in to 43 to 53 Newton meters, which again in metric translates to 4.85 to 5.98 Newton meters. So I'm going to do it to 5 Newton meters, which, just to be honest, make sure it's not over tightened more than anything else. Right, now in the disassembly video, I made the point to mark the little notch up inside this ignition plate so that when you put it back in, you know exactly where it goes. Also, what works for you is that if that's never been disturbed from the factory, then when you take these top and bottom screws out, they'll have a mark. They'll make an indent in the plate where they go. And you don't want to reassemble it exactly where it was. You don't want to be advancing or retarding the ignition here. You want it to be correct where it should be. So I've lined mine up with the mark that I made, and where the two screws were, there's exactly the circle, the little indent that the screws made in the plate, and I've put it exactly in that place. So when I nip that up now, I know that's exactly where it was. Like that, it's horrible, and it's old and tired. It just needs to go in the bin. It's pressed out of thin stuff anyway. It's not very nice. There's loads of other options on the market, or I could even make something for it later on in the project. But for now, that thick cover plate, that's all it needs. I'll make something later. All right, cam followers next. Now, if you put in the old cam followers on top of the old cams, then match them up in the holes they came from. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I put them in a box and marked them. If you haven't stored them in oil, then soak them in some oil first. If you're using new ones, soak them in some oil first as well. And once they're in, you lock them in with these little orientation pins that hold them facing forward, and they get torqued in as well. We'll cover that in a sec. Right, number 4, and finally, I just want to cover this one more time. Now, when you drop the lifters in, you're looking close, man. You have the little hole facing outwards, and you notice the wheel is rolling that way. It rolls in rotation with the cam. Obviously, to stop it twisting sideways, because there's nothing holding it, it's got these little flats on here, and that's what these pins are for. These pins sit up against there, and they stop that from rotating. They go in there. So we drop it in, hole outwards, drop it down in. You see the little flat just here on this head, and that sits up against there once we insert it through there. So drop that down in, and then these pins go in on all 4. And they'll keep those followers in orientation. Now we'll just throw a tiny little dab of thread lock on each one of these, and they get torqued in between 80 and 100 inch-pounds, which again in metric translates to 9.03 to 11.29 Newton meters. So I'm going to do them up to 10 Newton meters, which is somewhere in the middle. Right, okay, that's it. Cams fitted, timed, ignition plate on, cam followers in, everything orientated and timed correctly, and everything torqued up. Really happy with that, and I hope that helps you too. Stick it in your save box, use it if you need to. Also, there's a disassembly video. I'll put a link to that at the end, so you can do the whole job if you want to yourself. Now, from this point, I should be putting the top end on, but we are still suffering with delays on supply. All of the parts that I need for this are held up in customs. I've got the gaskets, but I just haven't got the piston kit yet, and the carburetor kit, and all the rest of the stuff that I need. So, in the next video, we will start a short 3-video project on a Harley, some refurbishment work that you're definitely going to have in your life sometime come up, and that might help you too. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe, and I'll see you next time.